Flower essences and the emotional freedom technique, also known as tapping, are wonderful modalities for releasing emotional blockages or just having some relief over the emotions that we feel in the everyday life today. Now, I want to go over all the points with you and why we tap on those specific points. Now, in traditional Chinese medicine, there are meridians that run through our entire body. Those meridians are like electrical highways. But when we have either a physical or an emotional trauma that we don't process properly, it can create a little car crash in those highways, and now the electricity and the electrical pulse, the energy in our body can't flow properly through those highways. So with emotional freedom technique, what we do is we tap on those points of those meridians, those highways, and we start sending a frequency, a vibration to start loosening up all of those blockages, hence car crashes, and get them to move out of the way. With flower essences, they even help us more because flower essences are vibrational medicines. So they send a specific vibration into those energetic blockages and start shaking them loose too. So you'll see with the flower essence combination, things move out way faster. Now let's talk about the tapping points. The first tapping point that I like to start out with is underneath the collarbone. So I'll have you massage underneath the collarbone. And you can go ahead and just do this with me. We're not going to say any statements. We're just going to go through the points. But you'll see that you'll get some relief. Normally I have the person take a deep breath in because even just massaging right here can bring up a lot of stuff. And the reason is right at the collarbone underneath it, that is our kidney meridian. And our kidney meridian is correlated to the emotion of fears. So just by massaging right there, you're tapping into your kidneys and any types of fears that you may have. And if it feels a little sensitive, that's your body's way of saying, hey, there's something there. Thank you for acknowledging it. In the middle of your collarbone, the meridian is your stomach. And the stomach is associated with disgust. At the end of the collarbone, around this point, that is your lungs, and the lungs are associated with the emotion of grief. So we'll massage here, we'll also tap the center of our chest. Moving on to the next point is underneath your breast in the point of your ribs. So on the right side, okay, and this is my right, which looks opposite on the camera, but my right, your right, is your liver. And your liver is associated with anger. On your left, this point is also the stomach meridian, and that's associated with disgust. If we tap high on the next point, so up over underneath your armpits, that's the meridian of the spleen. And if we tap lower, this is the meridian of the gallbladder. The spleen is associated with self-esteem, and the gallbladder is associated with resentments. Now, tapping your wrist, when we actually tap our wrist, we're hitting 3 points. We're hitting our lung, our pericardium, and our heart. Okay? So when we tap the thumb, right here where the skin and the nail meet, that is our lungs. And our lungs are associated with grief. Tapping your index finger, this finger is associated with our large intestine. And our large intestine is associated with feeling stuck. Our middle finger is associated with our pericardium. And our pericardium is associated with the heart as well. The next finger is the ring finger. And the ring finger has 2 points, I feel. One, and this is not in traditional Chinese medicine, this is something that I've figured out with clients and my own is this finger is associated with fears. And so I do end up having clients tap here when they have fears, and it can be a little sensitive. In traditional Chinese medicine, this finger is associated with your triple warmer. And your triple warmer is like the thermostat in your body. Okay. Now your pinky is associated with your heart, and that is similar to the lungs in regards to maybe shock or sadness. Now the side of your hand, the karate chop point, that is associated with your small intestine. And that is correlated to vulnerability. Where are you vulnerable in your life? The top of your head is the top of your head, and it actually is all of the points, all of the meridians, all at once. If you tap a little higher right here, that is actually associated with your gallbladder. Gallbladder is resentments, but if you tap a little lower in the middle of your eyebrows, that is your bladder, and bladder is associated with irritation. Your temples are also stomach with disgust, and your cheeks as well, stomach and disgust. Underneath your nose, that is your, and I have to look at my notes really quick, that is your governing vessel, and underneath your lips is your conception vessel. And we move down to the conception vessel back. So those are all the points for the emotional freedom technique and all their correlations with the emotions. If you ever feel any of those emotions, go ahead and tap anywhere that you feel called to. You don't have to remember every single point. I just like to share that with you so you know why we go through all these points. And with the flower essences, you'll be able to move things out and have your emotional freedom even sooner.